There are two major benefits of psychedelics: self-adjustment coupled with self-reconstruction, and the repair of your social relations with family and friends. For me, both of these were very important, having an incredible impact on the quality of my life, and they are mainly the reasons why I'm such a vocal advocate of the healing properties of mind-altering substances. The knowledge and insight you receive from the psychedelic messages, psychedelic contact, and psychedelic introspection is absolutely priceless, and it allows to rearrange your life priorities while becoming a much kinder person in interacting with yourself and others. In this video, I'll tell you about how machine elves fix my relations with many family members, and then I'll tell you about the messages I received regarding the importance of family in our earthly existence. Before I go into that, I would like to ask you to join Patreon or Subscribestar to give me and this channel a chance to exist and grow. It is your generosity that pays for all the work involved in making these videos. It's super easy to join, and if you wish to donate by other methods, try PayPal, cryptocurrency, or bank transfer. All methods are listed in the video description and at join.b434.com. Thanks to all former, current, and future supporters of 434. I am forever grateful for your thoughtfulness. For me as a child, my mom was the most important person in my life. When I was 9, she decided to start working in another country, effectively ending my childhood. She would go back home every other month, which filled me with a lot of anxiety, anger, and frustration. My dad was not good at being a parent, and we all struggled with the situation. I believe her absence caused my depression. Although we have a normal relationship today, I can see a lot of those negative feelings towards her still in my life. This emotional issue was one of the first things that machine elves addressed. They took me to her dimension, where they showed me how she was asking a giant alpha male in the sky for help, and as the entities explained, she always struggled in life because of not being able to find and attract a strong man. It was interesting to see how surprised she was when I asked her about it a few days later. Then they explained that she needs love, and that's why she moved all the way to another country looking for it, sacrificing her family's happiness in the process. Because I disagree with the imaginary denial world she locked herself in and how she prioritized her life, we argue a lot, but machine elves regularly tell me off for not doing my job in helping her with her struggles. Given my history and the damage I sustained as a result of her decisions, it is a big challenge for me to generate loving emotions towards her, and it is something that machine elves ask me many times to work on, resulting in an improvement in our relations. Machine elves' attitude towards my relationship with my dad is very interesting too. My dad was always very angry, and once my mom started disappearing every month, my dad's frustration got much worse, and quickly we became enemies. The situation got really bad when I got older, and eventually me and my brother forced him to move out of the house. We didn't speak to each other for several years, and once I moved out to England and when things got better, I started rebuilding our relationship, and today me and my dad are good friends. I worked a lot on this relationship, and because together with my dad we discussed our mistakes from the past, machine elves never want to explain anything to me about him. Every time I ask for some insight into it, they show me his appearance as it is in our reality, which is unusual when they talk about someone, and they say that I can move on to other questions as there is nothing to explain here. The fact that he's the only person they won't talk to me about makes me feel even better about my relationship with him, knowing that I can handle it without entity's help. They did explain though a lot of things from my past related to him. They showed me how my depression came from the prolonged fear of him. They explained how lack of fatherly love in my life made me obsessed with women and sex for a long time, as they were the only ones who were giving me what I needed. They also told me about his journey of rejection and how his anger shaped his reality, and how he doesn't understand that he also didn't get love in his childhood, causing him to be permanently frustrated. In the first ever contact, they show me how my brother has always been in my shadow and how he always looked up to me while I never showed him any appreciation. It took them one sentence to make me realize how despite our close friendship, we have a one-sided relationship where he is not treated fairly, and how it shaped his life. It was a great psychedelic lesson that made me call him immediately the next day, explaining all of it to him. One of the strangest family interventions by machine elves was in my relationship with a quotation marks human. As you remember from previous videos, she is a relative 40 years older than me who entered into my life about 20 years ago and gave me an incredible insight into the minds of the original inhabitants of this reality. I described her in detail in the video How to Deal with Quotation Mark Humans, and our conflict is the reason why I can talk to you now about the lost humans on Earth who can't do anything about themselves. She has always been a perfect example for this. To my surprise, in one of the early messages, Machine Elves told me that in reality she appeared 20 years ago to become the third parent in my life, and they told me off for ignoring her and fighting with her all these years. They showed me how she is aware of her limited mindset and how she still needs love. They told me about her fears and her loneliness and how she's not happy with herself as a result of this. Then they allowed me to look into her relationship with her husband, who had died long before we met, explaining a lot of the things that go on in her life now. As always, they showed me how many mistakes I made and how many wasted chances I had to make things better. And then, a few months ago, they gave me a very long message for her that I put in a letter where I expressed my gratitude for her efforts and how I appreciate everything she's been doing for me. That interdimensional intervention fixed our 20-year struggle with each other. It is truly amazing how the entities are capable of fixing things that seem to be hopeless. Machine Elves also allowed me to have closure with my deceased family members. They got me in contact with my dead cousin, who told me that he's okay and he instructed me to take care of his mom. They also allowed me to have closure with my dead grandfather by showing me the true nature of his relationship with me. They did a very interesting thing by showing me the scene from my life with a girl I was crazy about years ago, and they showed me something that I wasn't aware of. That at the end, she actually started avoiding me at some point because of how selfish and self-centered she was. And then they explained that my grandfather was actually similar to her and that they both came from the same place. They explained that when I was little, he would visit me only when he had something to take care of in a nearby town, and that he was in our lives only as a part of this additional thing he was always doing. It seemed we were not his priority, and this really allowed me to stop thinking about him. They also used my grandmother, his wife, as a very good example to show how negativity can destroy life and how I need to go in the opposite direction. They put to good use her negative, pessimistic outlook on life as a point of reference for me to know when to change my behavior. Something that will be definitely of interest to many of you is that Machine Elves allowed me once to see the world through a child's eyes. It was a very important experience that I'll make a separate video about soon. There is too much to talk about, but for now all I can tell you is that children have a much closer connection to the energy than us, and they are more in tune with the energy's frequency. Machine Elves even take care of my relationship with friends and girlfriends, explaining their behavior or telling me that these people exist in my life as a gift. One of the reasons that I know that Machine Elves are not a product of my imagination is that they always defend them even though I don't agree with them. Sometimes they justify their behavior or they show me how much I hurt them, although very often I'm not on board with their evaluation of a particular situation. But what they say always makes more sense than what I think. Machine Elves told me many times that it is important to remember that life is all about finding the possibilities to experience love. The definition of life is finding love-generating situations, and family is one of the most love-filled environments you can be in. I was shown that as you get older, you start running out of options for emotional stimuli. Having a family allows you to keep it for the rest of your life, so if you're thinking whether it is a good idea to have children, try to think about the emotional aspect of your future. They told me how lucky I was that I have so many family members in my life here and that I can still interact with them anytime I want. They showed me how children and new family members create more love-generating opportunities in my life. They also warned me not to get our priorities wrong. Here's what they said. You're supposed to be there for people closest to you in this life, your family. You're not supposed to prioritize everybody else. Put your family and your loved ones first. You're always busy. Busy with what? Ask yourself, what is that you're busy with? Are you busy with working for somebody else? Are you busy with being stressed? You're not supposed to be busy for your close ones. You should always have time for your family. They come first. They were chosen to be in your life to teach you something. You're supposed to be with them and for them. They shouldn't have to know that you're busy. Remember, these people are your absolute priority. A few months ago, I was shown how harmony is the precursor to activating the metaphysical elements of this dimension. I was told that social harmony starts on a macro scale, which means that you, your family, and people in your environment create a single cell of the spiritual harmony net. You create it, we all create it. These net cells cooperate and they create the metaphysical network of this reality and the structure that activates the mechanisms operating this dimension. It all starts from the love created by a loving family. Some of our family relations don't seem to be beneficial to our growth and development, and I asked the entities about it, and they answered as always that everything has a purpose, that all defining elements of your life deserve the same amount of respect, whether positive or negative. They're all important defining elements of our lives that serve a purpose in a given moment. Recently I received a message about you guys and how lucky we are that we have each other. 434 is a family. Machine Elves told me that there is an invisible dimension connecting everything and everyone in a way that we know very little of. Limited by our body filters, we don't see beyond our physical form, and we don't know whether we came from the same place or whether we are going in the same direction. Remember that we're all spiritual brothers and sisters connected by one interdimensional purpose. Family is not just DNA, it is also a spiritual connection. This is why 434 platforms exist like Reddit, Discord, or Telegram. They're for you to discover each other. They're for you to see how much you have in common and what you can learn from each other. Use them. Love, 434. I'll talk more about family relations from a different angle in a video about the benefits of being anchored in reality and the dangerous consequences of denial on my second YouTube channel. Go to the video description and click the link to subscribe. The video is coming soon. Please support this channel and all our collective effort to raise this reality's vibrational frequency. This is an important mission we're all on here. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Visit the websites of the artist and the musician I featured in this video. Remember about b434.com and join 434 social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and VK. All links in the video description.